Welcome to Deep Thought. In the end, it's about the mind. You know what? I know I've hit some deep concepts on here, and I haven't really got into like that standard metaphysical stuff though, because I figure y'all can look it up. I ain't talking about chakras and astrology and all of that. Y'all can look it up. But and I just wanted to reiterate that I've probably done a video on this or a podcast what this is, but it really is, in the end of the day, how you think. It really is. Whether we talking about stuff like an abundance consciousness or a poverty consciousness, or if we're talking about sex appeal. Like, let me use that for an example, because that's something everybody know. As soon as you say sex appeal in there, everybody ears perking out. Say, oh yeah, bro, I'm talking now. That's really a mindset thing. That's in the mind, Because I know these two women. They look like they can be sisters. They not sisters though, right? One is very sexually appealing, like sexy, drop dead, drips off of her. The other one is very closed off, but it's their minds and it's how open they are about sex. It's the same thing with men. There's that cliche word confidence. But that's a mindset thing, right? And even, in business or, I just recently did a simulcast about removing negative people. That's, what? The difference between, success, failure, making it in life is more so thinking. Remember, if there's a law of the universe, the 7 laws of, some people call it the 7 laws of Thoth, the 7 mental laws. The first law, though, is everything is mental. Everything starts in the mind. Everything. Everything man-made starts in the mind. Those of y'all listening on a smartphone, it started in the mind of someplace. Who created the sound system, who started writing. When I do these things, I have a piece of paper. I jot down some notes, also use it to, when I come back, I'll listen to it and, jot down tags for it and everything. I'll say, oh, yeah, I can use that word. But somebody had to create writing. Somebody had to think about the language that we're speaking now. It just didn't evolve. Everything is a thought. Even procreation. Even procreation, people will talk about how instinctual it was. We drawn to everybody, but you still have to think about who you're going to sleep with, who you're going to recreate with. Every moment as we go in the day, you still got to think about it, even if it's really even walking, but that is on such a deep level that is automatic. But, remember when anybody with children, you really have to teach them to walk. Well, there might be some exceptions. I think my youngest, he just walked. But he still had to have an idea to walk, So, it's about the mind. It's like no matter what, it's how you think, how you approach stuff. It's like you could change your whole situation, any situation, just by thinking differently. And I've seen that happen. People just think about it. That's why you can get some people, they can lose weight real quick. Because they just in their mindset, I'm going to do this. Or they decide they're going to be successful. But then the other side of it is if somebody go in and they don't think they can do something, they ain't going to be able to do it. Because they're not going to try. The mind is an operating system. So in the end, it's like no matter what, that's the deepest thing. That's why I call this thing deep thought. I want y'all to think about stuff. That's why some of the stuff I talk about isn't the standard fare. Like, meditate and, all the stars and all that. And even though I've learned a lot of that just for my own edification. I've learned a lot. I mean, I could share that, it'd be deep and all that. But at the end of the day, you still got to think about it. You still have a choice. You know? And I think ultimately people have to get there and they have to take responsibility. You know, I was watching a video, it was of a radio show, and there was a speaker and he was talking about how, you know, you got people who get so caught up into these public speakers, that I did something on that on my other channel, you know, where I said public speaking won't save the black community. And it's ironic. I doubt this dude saw my video, but he was talking about the same thing, probably in light of some of the stuff going on recently, right? And, you know, you still have to think about if you're going to follow somebody or not follow somebody. You know, you still have to think about it. You still have to make that choice. A lot of people go through life and they say, oh, well, it you know, this happened to me, or they allow circumstances. But I was like, well, if you think about it, you always had an option. And, you know, it's a deeply metaphysical thing, but sometimes it's just a common sense thing. You know, I remember this dude, right? This is a dude who owns several houses and stuff. That's the same one I might have talked about before on my business channel. For some reason, I keep running into people, men and women who own a lot of property. Maybe spirit's trying to tell me something. I don't know. But I was talking with this dude, and he said, you know, anything that a person got into is because of a person's ideas in their mind, and somebody had a thought. So because of that, anything can be solved with a thought, any situation. And he was a real calm dude, and I kind of learned that from him. I kind of sat back. I said, okay, you know what, you right. And this dude, he probably couldn't tell you stars, moons. He couldn't tell you anything deep. But that was the most profound thing. He said, you can just have an idea. You can get out of something just with thinking about it. If a human being created it with their thoughts, you can get out of it with your thoughts. And that's everything. Like if you sit back, like one of the things people need to do, and I'm going to throw out meditation. Just meditation is just kind of clearing your thoughts. It's not you still going to think, but trying to focus your thoughts and stuff. You know, sometimes what I do, and it's not even a case of just sitting in some lotus position, which I haven't really been able to do since I was young. Probably need to take some yoga or something. But, you know, I'll just sit on a plush couch, sit back, and I'll just think about something. I might have some TV on, might have some incense, and I'll just let it flow and just be calm about it. And then something, no matter what the situation, it'll come to me. All right? So it's imperative that people really realize that, and you know what, take responsibility and stuff for your thoughts. You know, take responsibility for what you're going to think about. Because like I said, I talk about success, I talk about relationships, making money and stuff. You got to make a thought to do all that. No matter what, if you want a successful relationships, you got to make that thought. You want to make money, that thought. Just have a happy life. One thing, I have a very fulfilling life because years ago, I thought about it. Now, I've gone through some stuff. Oh, man, I've gone through some stuff that I think would have broken a lesser person. But, and as people point out, I'm that person, there's sunshine at the end of the day, you know? That sun will always come out. You know, the sun is always going to come up the next day no matter what. You can get through anything. You can actually transmute any situation just what you're thinking. You know, if you go into a bad situation or a situation that potentially looks bad, but you got a positive outlook on it, boom. In most cases, not in all cases, I ain't even going to say most cases, all cases, you're going to come out better because you already got a positive thing no matter how bad it could get. You know, that's any situation. Dealing with people. You know, I just talked about dealing with negative people. One of the things, some instances you got to deal with them if you like on a job or something like that. But you can still deal with them in such a way just through your thinking that they're not going to be a problem. So, like, at the end of the day, always, it's still the mind. It's about the mind. It's about what you're thinking. It's about your mindset. All right? So, anyway, right? I'll get back with you. I'll get back with you later. Y'all think about what I just said. Peace and blessings.